Hello, hello. I think I'm actually in the right place today, not over in the low sugar one. You're hanging out wondering why nobody wants to watch me cook. But I hope you guys are having an awesome, Thursday. Mine has been great. I had client calls all day. And now I'm ready to cook. So today we're doing a healthy passion popcorn chicken salad. So this is going to be done in the air fryer, so it's going to be healthy popcorn chicken, but it's going to be hopefully as delicious as I remember as a kid. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kate Horning. I'm a chef and nutritionist. I'm the creator of A Healthy Passion, which is a meal planning software that I designed to help you know exactly what to eat when you start carb cycling. So if you guys are carb cycling, which I hope everyone in here is, and you struggle with meal planning or what to eat or simple recipes that help you to hit your low carb days, regular macro days, and rest days, A Healthy Passion tells you exactly what to eat. You click a button, recommends recipes, you go. So again, if you're not using it yet, go check it out. It's a game changer, especially for all you busy ladies who don't have time to think about one more thing. So popcorn chicken salad is hopefully going to be amazing. I'm so excited to show you guys this, but I want to show you guys first what ingredients we're going to use for it. So first things first, chicken. I've got a pound of chicken. I just diced up. You can use chicken tenders. I just got chicken breast here, but you want to dice it up into sort of little bite-sized cubes. You guys can see that. And then I've got tomatoes, just little cherry tomatoes. These are from my garden. Also cucumbers from my garden, but you can use them from the grocery store. Dill, romaine lettuce, a garlic clove, an egg, some Greek yogurt, and this has more than most Healthy Passion recipes just because we're making the chicken tenders, the salad, and the Greek yogurt. A lemon, some panko breadcrumbs, and then a little bit of flour to bread. So again, most Healthy Passion recipes, I try to shoot for like that 5 to 6 ingredient sweet spot. I feel like that's realistic for most of us. Again, this one, we're breading the chicken, we're making the salad, we're making the dressing, so it has a lot more ingredients, but again, hopefully gonna be worth it. So to get started, we're gonna do our chicken first because it takes the longest amount of time. And what I like to do whenever I'm breading anything is to create a little breading station. Hey Susan, how are your fish and chips last night? You crack me up every time I see you post about it. I just laugh, like I laugh out loud. I love it so much. Okay, so for these little chicken tenders, we're gonna go flour, egg, breadcrumb. Hey Lauren. I'm gonna put my chicken up there. Stick my knife. Try to make my breading station so you guys can still see me. And then we've got my air fryer right here. I'm just gonna go flour, egg, breadcrumb into the basket. So pretty simple. So first things first, our flour. We need a 1/4 cup of flour. My 1/4 cup is dirty, so I use this ugly one. And whenever you're breading anything, you always want to make sure that you season every single layer. So I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of ladies make whenever they're, breading any sort of dish and putting it in the air fryer and wondering why it doesn't have any flavor is because you want to go ahead and season every layer. So we're going to start with a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs. I'm wanting to say a 1/2 cup, but I don't remember what I typically use. So we'll start with a 1/4 cup. If we need more, we'll add it. So I'm going to go ahead and beat my egg up. Also, when air frying, I always like to add a little, maybe 1/2 teaspoon of olive oil into my egg, just to kind of help give it that richness that I feel that you don't necessarily get from the air fryer. Okay, so that looks good. Then, like I said, seasoning every layer. So a little salt, little salt, little salt, and then also salt on my chicken. Celtic salt, of course. Oh, I forgot to mention pantry items. Obviously, olive oil is being used, Celtic salt, and then red pepper flakes. The traditional. If you guys have hung out with me long enough, you know it's my basic go-tos. Okay, so then I'm gonna whisk that up with that fork, and I'm gonna grab one more fork and just kind of mix around my flour and mix around my breadcrumbs. And then you always want to spray or wipe olive oil. I don't typically buy Pam, but Mike had it from when I moved in, and I'm not the type that wastes, so I'm going to use this and then buy the kind I like. But a little bit of cooking spray just in the base. Then we're just going to start breading our chicken. So I'm going to use one hand for chicken, and I'm going to keep one hand clean. And I'm not sure why I just used my left hand. I should use my right hand, but whatever. Making sure I season it up good. So we're going to go into the flour, and this is essentially just going to coat the chicken. I Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get both hands dirty. It's just easier that way. And that's just gonna coat the chicken and give it kind of that crispy first layer. And then into the egg, you wanna shake the egg off because you really don't want it to be too wet. And then into the breadcrumbs. And yes, we're definitely gonna need a half cup of breadcrumbs here. And then the key with air fryer is to make sure that you have everything nice and spread out. So if you guys are using your air fryers, and you're like, I don't know why my stuff's not getting crispy, it's because you've crowded everything too much. So like I've told you guys before, my only problem with my air fryer is I wish I would have gone with the jumbo. We went with the large, thinking, oh, it's just 2 of us, we don't need a huge air fryer. Well, we still do stuff in batches. So I would recommend buying the biggest one you can afford if you're gonna spring into the air fryer world, which never thought I'd say this, but I highly recommend. It's super fun. Okay, so flour, egg, breadcrumb, you all get the plan here. It's pretty easy. And this is something you could do in advance, like go ahead and popcorn up your chicken, bread it, pop in the air fryer, let it cook, and then just reheat it in the oven. The good news about air fryer stuff is that it reheats pretty well in the oven. Or if you want to do it in advance, you can just keep it warm in the oven as you do your salad. Okay, so I'm adding about another 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs in because yes, I was completely wrong. I definitely need more. So we're gonna keep breading here. Funny story, so I was cutting up the chicken for this and I feed my pets raw, all of them, and the dogs are outside right now and for some reason they have the most insane hearing and they know whenever the refrigerator opens around 5 o'clock, it's like they think it's time to be fed. So they're outside barking while I'm getting ready for this and the cat's in here screaming for food because she's used to getting her food as well. They all eat chicken, so I was cutting it up for this and all my animals think it's for them. Okay, flour, egg, breadcrumbs. Just rub it around. And if you have kiddos at home, this is a fun little thing for them to help with. And honestly, what I would do is if you're cooking for family here, I would make this recipe as is for myself, and then I would do the chicken, just bread it and air fry it up for the kids and give them like a fun little dipping sauce. That way everybody's happy if they don't love, a big salad for dinner. The goal whenever you're cooking for your family, especially when you're carb cycling, which I think is one of the most doable, lifestyle friendly things to stick to when you have a family, because your family can still eat all the foods they love. And you don't have to cook 2 meals, which is amazing. But is to kind of take it and then adapt it to fit what everyone likes. So I always take the meal and I eat it as is, and then kind of adapt it a little bit to make everyone else happy. Oh gosh, I'll have to get my measuring out. I would say, I don't know, 1.5 inch cubes. I'm so bad at that, I eyeball it. But I'll get my measuring tape out, Susan, for you, because I know you're gonna go repeat it before I even get it on the website. I still don't have the fish and chips up. Struggle fest. One of these days I'll get my life together. It's funny, I've actually had a few of you guys message me asking if I need an assistant because I struggle sometimes to get everything I need to done. Hopefully I'll be able to get one here soon. Okay, so I'm gonna do 1 or 2 more of these, and again, you don't want to overcrowd it, so I would rather do batches and just keep it warm in the oven. Or if I bought a bigger air fryer, which I actually am considering doing for as much as we use it. Okay, so you guys can see it's gonna go in. I always set my timer on my phone, but I have 400 degrees. And what I like to do is let it start cooking before I spray it with any more cooking spray, just because I find that sometimes if you spray it with too much cooking spray before it starts cooking, it can get soggy and kind of like deters the bread. Okay, for Susan, here we go. So they're about 2-inch cubes, I would say. Does that help? So 2-inch little cubes, and they're gonna take, I'm guessing, and again, I haven't done this one in a really long time. They're gonna take probably about 8 minutes to 10 minutes to cook. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get these last little guys breaded and put on a plate. Actually, I'll just have them right here, ready to go. And then we'll start working on the dressing and the salad. So this is like kind of the easy part. So if you guys want to just do the, the chicken tenders and make your own salad with it, that is cool. But I'm going to show you guys a quick little Greek yogurt, sort of like dill lemon dill dressing. Sort of like a ranch, but without all the herbs. Or you could just throw some balsamic on there, or you could just skip it, like I said, and just do some ketchup or barbecue sauce. This was the very end as well, so I'm gonna cook these guys a little less, little end pieces. But basically, you just want to cook it till it's done. 160, 165, let it rest. I always let my chicken rest, so I always pull it out a few minutes early. But it shouldn't take too crazy long. Hey, Emily. I'm a saint. Thank you. I'm glad you think that. I try for you, Susan. I love, nothing makes me happier than you guys using a healthy fashion and making the recipes and loving them so much, because I really do put a lot of time and energy and thought into testing and playing around with concepts and ideas, and a lot of them don't work, and the ones that do, like, I'm so proud of. So it makes me so happy to see you all loving them so much. And hopefully it's making your life easier and healthier and much easier to stick to, because you got yummy food. I think that food makes all the difference in the world. You can enjoy the food, you can stick to a plan. Okay, so I'm gonna give my hands a quick wash now that all my chicken's in there, and I'm gonna set my timer, which I have no idea where my phone is. Shocker. So I guess we're gonna try to, well, no, that's not gonna work. You're gonna come with me while I look for my phone. So what other air fryer things do you guys want to learn? I feel like I've kind of covered some of the basics, but I know a lot of you have air fryers and are always wanting new ideas. So what else do you guys want to learn in the air fryer? I set it for 8 minutes and we'll check on it. Let me know. Or what else do you guys want to learn in general? I love when you tell me what you want, because then it makes it so easy for me to help you. Okay, so for the dressing, that's what we're going to work on next. And get a clean knife. So we're going to start with a garlic clove. And there's something about popcorn chicken and like a creamy dressing that really gets me excited. So I'm using Greek yogurt as a base, and then we're going to add in lemon, garlic, and dill to kind of flavor it up a little bit, because Greek yogurt is kind of basic by itself. And I'm using a 2% here. If you're trying to watch your fat, say on a regular macro day and you're kind of tight, although this doesn't have much fat in it, you could probably use a 0%, but I just find in general whenever I'm making dressings, that 2% seems to give a little bit richer, creamier texture, so I prefer it. So you want to make sure you get this garlic nice and minced. One little trick to sort of create almost like a little garlic puree is to take a tiny bit of salt and put it on your minced garlic, and then take your knife and kind of mash it around. And I find that's going to help create almost like a little, like I said, puree that will sort of go throughout the dressing, versus, I don't know about you all, it's like a raw onion. Sometimes you just like get a chunk of raw garlic and you're like, ooh, too much. So for me, I find this is a little bit better way to do it. Then we're going to do about 2 tablespoons of dill. I just love fresh dill for this. You could use dried dill, but especially although my chickens ate my dill, so I don't have any fresh dill right now, but while dill's in season, it's a little bit better option. So we have about 2 tablespoons here. Actually, I went a little crazy, so I'm not going to use all of this, but you want to, again, finely chop it up. We want ribbons kind of throughout. Hey, Kelly. I'm actually going to grab my measuring spoon just to make sure my measurements are accurate. There's 1/2 tablespoon. This might actually be 2. Man, I'm pretty good at eyeballing things. I feel like when you do it enough, you just kind of can look at something and say, okay. All right, so that's going to go in. And lemon juice of 1 lemon. Love my little lemon squeezer. It just kind of makes everything so much easier. So that's going to sort of season everything up. And then I always forget that the Fage, or however you say yogurt, has the little topper on it. But we've got 1 7-ounce container of Greek yogurt. And this is going to have you loaded with protein. So if you guys are trying to get your protein up, this recipe is going to be great for that. And honestly, I love Greek yogurt dressings because you can eat as much as you want, really. Feel free. It's not all that fat. Nothing's processed in here. Okay, so that is going to go in. Look how pretty. Honestly, I should have got a bigger bowl. wishful thinking. So now I'm gonna whisk all that together, and then the last thing I'm gonna add is some olive oil, just to kind of add a little bit more richness and sort of cut the yogurt flavor. About a tablespoon of that, and then some Celtic salt and some red pepper flakes. So, and honestly, you could skip the olive oil, but I just find it sort of, I don't know, and maybe actually a half tablespoon. I'm gonna taste it and see. I just feel like it adds a little richness to it again. Since we're air frying, and honestly, that half tablespoon is perfect. Pinch of salt, pinch of red pepper flakes, and again, generous pinch here. I love my red pepper flakes, but you can add as little or as much as you want. Okay, yeah, that looks more like it. Guys. Nice and tangy. I'm going to add the full tablespoon of olive oil. Just because the fat kind of cuts the lemon. And I don't want it to be too lemony. Honestly, I could keep this. And that garlic just comes through, but it's not too strong the way we did it. Yep. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside. Put that over here. We've been cooking for at least 5 minutes. You guys can see they're starting to get some color. So I'm gonna take them and flip them. And whenever I'm air frying anything, these are definitely gonna take about 10 minutes. I like to flip halfway through just so everything gets golden brown and crispy. And again, to be honest, I don't think this needs any more cooking spray or anything, so I'm just gonna lay low there. These look so pretty. Yum. Okay, so that's gonna go back in. And then while that's finishing off, and I'm going to add a timer here because I know we're definitely need a little more time. While that's happening, I'm gonna go ahead and prep the salad. So I've got romaine hearts, so I'm just gonna use one romaine heart here. And just kind of take it, roughly chop it. My favorite part is down here by the stem where it's nice and crisp, but this will make a really pretty salad. And I'm just gonna do one big bowl here and then divide it up into two after I take pictures. I like the look of just kind of this big old salad. And honestly, you could probably eat this whole thing right here, no problem. Okay, and then we're gonna take our cucumbers, and I'm gonna peel these just because they're from my garden and they're kind of spicy on the outside. But if I was using like an English cucumber, like I would probably recommend in the recipe, you can just leave the peel on. I personally like cucumber peel. It has good nutrition in it, and if you're buying organic, it's totally good to eat. But again, while they're in season, gotta enjoy them. Go ahead and cut that up. Just kind of quarter it so you get little bits. You know, I want to be able to have a little bite of everything in one spoonful or one forkful, so just mix that up, and then I'm going to do the other cucumber, same thing. Peel it. So this is actually a lot more like just assembly, really. There's not a ton of cooking that's going on, which is fun. I like it like that, especially in the summer. You know, and I like to use my air fryer more so in the summer, at least right now. Obviously, I haven't had it in the winter, so who knows, I might say the same thing. Because it doesn't heat up your kitchen. So, you know, obviously, with it being hot here in Kentucky and really everywhere in the world, or in the, I guess, country, you know, it's definitely not overly motivating to want to fire up the grill or fire up your oven in the middle of, you know, of this heat. So, the air fryer really doesn't heat up the kitchen, and it's just kind of nice to toss everything in there, not have a huge mess to clean up, have it cooking away. So then we've got our cherry tomatoes here, and I'm just going to kind of have these, and then if they're really big, quarter them. Just using little babies from my garden, but you can use whatever you got. Use a Roma tomato, use on the vine tomatoes, really just the combination of the tomato, the cucumber, and the popcorn chicken is what we're going for here with that creamy dressing. And I've got about a cup of tomatoes. I don't know why I picked that number, but it just felt good to me. That was 8 minutes. I think they're going to take probably 10 to maybe even 12. I did cut them a little bigger than, you know, traditional popcorn chicken. You could probably cut it in half even. But I don't know, I just like the idea of these big chunks. So yeah, these look really good. So I'm gonna let them go about 1 or 2 more minutes. And then, best way to know if they're done is to use a meat thermometer. I cook for a career, and I honestly have used a meat thermometer more often than not when I'm not sure. So, if you guys are like not always sure and overcooking your meat all the time because you're afraid of, not knowing if it's done, invest in a meat thermometer. It's a really great tool because I can promise you that meat tastes totally different when it's cooked perfectly. Okay, so that looks good. Salad looks good. Dressing's done, so we're just waiting on our chicken. I'm gonna do the rest of this up later, so that way you guys don't have to sit here and watch me do round 2. But again, if you're gonna buy an air fryer, get the big one. So what other questions do you guys have? Anyone have questions? Anyone have suggestions of what they want to learn? Nope. Pull out my little guide. So that's been another minute. Let's see where we're at. The other good thing is that you don't have to wait for anything to preheat, so you can go from 0 to cooking in a matter of minutes. Look how pretty those are. Golden brown. Honestly, they feel done to me when I poked them, so I think we're pretty good. Perfect. Okay, so then I'm just gonna take these little guys, and again, this one serves 2, so I'm just gonna pile them all on top here. Really pretty. I'll go ahead and try to give you guys an overhead shot. Again, I tried to do that yesterday and I hung up on everybody in the wrong group. But there we go. Oh. Popcorn chicken salad. And then we've got our gorgeous dressing, which I don't think I can do this one-handed without making a giant mess. But I'm going to go ahead and plate it up, take some pictures, and then stay tuned. It should be in Healthy Passion, hopefully next week. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on how to make this at home, let me know. And cheers, guys. I will see you all next week.